this is debunking the whole human shields argument. And it's video from a couple of years ago by my friend and yours, Abby Martin. Abby Martin, always doing amazing work. And honestly, she was leading the charge in the truth, bringing the truth about Palestine to people years ago. When I first started at Redacted Tonight, Abby was there already with her show, and she was already covering these stories. The oppression, the abuse of Palestinians. She was just doing such excellent coverage. Anyway, I'm just going to bring you a few of her points. If you want all the points, then you can go to her Twitter, which is Abby Martin on Twitter. But here are a few of the points on the human shields propaganda.
Point 1. Israel provides no evidence that there are human shields. So far, the best they can do is share these photoshopped images. See, the building is red. That means Hamas is there. You know, for all of Israel's sophisticated surveillance technology with eyes over every single inch of Gaza, you'd think that they'd be able to produce more than cartoons and doctored graphics. In fact, the only proof they have provided so far are fake videos of Hamas rockets in residential areas. On May 15th, the IDF published a video of an Israeli training operation using a Hamas decoy, but claimed it was an actual Hamas missile launcher near civilians. In another lie, Netanyahu's spokesman tweeted a video claiming it was Hamas firing rockets next to an apartment building. Turns out this was a video from 2018 in Syria. So where's the actual evidence? If they cannot provide any, their claims must be investigated and brought to a trial. Even if there was evidence that Israel was hitting legitimate military targets, it still is illegal to kill such an outrageous amount of civilians. And you can't legally blow up a hospital, even if there are militants nearby. Either way, Israel should not be allowed to be above the law.
All great points there, and I love the they just show cartoons of maps of buildings, and they highlight one in red, which apparently proves human shields. It reminds me of, it brings to mind the famous moment of Colin Powell in front of the UN, giving that slam dunk argument that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. And one of the things he shows is cartoon drawings of the mobile weapons labs that Saddam Hussein is apparently driving around the country of Iraq in order to not be caught. And I've pointed out before that the reason they had to show cartoons of the mobile weapons labs is because they didn't fucking exist. Let's just create a fucking drawing of a mobile weapons lab. That's when you know that it's propaganda, like 100%, when they're showing you fucking drawings of the things they tell you are real. Okay, I'm going to skip down. She gives 5 or so points. I'm going to skip down to point number 3 here.
Point 3. According to Israel's own definition of human shield, every man, woman, and child in Gaza is a human shield. They claim that anyone in the vicinity of not only Hamas missile sites, but Hamas offices, Hamas individuals, is a human shield. This includes Hamas members who are sleeping at home with their families and the surrounding houses. This includes anyone within a mile of any Hamas institution, which is literally all of the 2 million people who live there. Look, Hamas is the government of Gaza. Therefore, any civilian infrastructure is considered Hamas infrastructure, everything from transportation to healthcare. So anyone in the vicinity of those things or people can be killed with impunity. Even Israel's Minister of Defense confirmed that this is indeed their view, stating on May 18th that, quote, no person, area, or neighborhood in Gaza is immune from airstrikes. How is it in any way acceptable that Israel can categorize every human being in Gaza a legitimate target? And if you take Israel's logic far enough, they could kill everyone in Gaza, and it would be justified.
So again, this is the moving of international law, the acting like Oh, well, you can kill anyone who's tangentially connected to Hamas. Well, if Hamas is the government and government structures are everywhere in one form or another, including healthcare, including transportation, including, with their equivalent of food stamps or welfare or whatever, uh, all of that is considered a terrorist organization, and anyone within a mile of that, but this is the most densely populated area of the world. So essentially, it's everybody. Essentially, everybody is either Hamas or a human shield, according to Israel, and therefore can all be murdered. It is horrific. And the other thing that that Abby points out in one of the other videos I'm not going to play right now is that if you were to use that same logic on Israel, well, Israel has government buildings throughout Israel, throughout populated centers like Tel Aviv. Do you think if Palestinians or some other country were to just blow up an apartment building that's next to an Israeli healthcare office, Israeli government healthcare office, do you think everyone would go, "Oh yeah, it's fine"? No, it's next to the healthcare office, so that's they were human shields or they were Israeli government connected. No, it'd be an absolute war crime, and everyone would say that if the roles were reversed. Okay, one more video from Abby Martin. Again, if you want all of these 5 points, 5, 6 points, they're at her Twitter page.
It's far from the first time this term has been used to state-sponsored mass slaughter. Human shield propaganda has been long applied by the empire to dehumanize the enemy in nearly every major world conflict or war, from its atrocities in Korea to Iraq. And it always serves the same purpose: to dehumanize entire populations, giving the perpetrators a free pass to act with total disregard for civilian life. What the Israeli government is trying to do is cover up what their military is actually doing, which is indiscriminate bombing. That seems glaringly apparent, and international law is very clear about indiscriminate attacks being a war crime, strictly prohibited in any situation. To sum it all up, it is completely outrageous to let Israel make this blanket claim to absolve itself of any wrongdoing. All of those lives taken had value. They all had families. They all had futures they were robbed of. It's not fair, and it's not right to be able to wash away their deaths with such an audacious lie. This is an unconscionable situation. What everyone should agree on is that if an army, especially a colonizing power attacking a population it occupies and completely controls, is going to kill such an outrageous number of civilians, they shouldn't be their own judge and jury. This is what war crimes tribunals are for, and that is exactly what Israel needs to face.
All right, Abby Martin laying it down. Again, she's one of the best on this topic. She did a great documentary called Gaza Fights for Freedom. Check that out. But it obviously came out a couple of years ago, but you'll learn a lot from it.